Please read the disclaimer. XRP holders, the Fed just said, no, we're not doing this. Plus, President Trump is on the fence again. And what did the senators say about the Clarity Act? Is it coming soon? Freaky Friday, market selling off. We'll explain what's happening. Stock market selling off. All of those frightening things. It's not Friday the 13th. We already had that a few weeks ago. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile, send out those good vibes, smash that like button. Let's get into it. So right now, XRP is at $1.32, down minus 3% on the day. The crypto market continues the sell-off here. As you can see, this has basically, since we had the run-up on Monday, 23rd of March, we've been in this downward movement here for XRP and the crypto market. It's since basically President Trump said that he was giving the 5 days extension. Remember, there was a sell-off during the weekend because of the fear of what was going to happen in 48 hours. Then he said, oh, I'm giving a 5-day postponement for the attack on the Iranian assets. And then the market since then has been continuing to sell off. Last night, he came out and said he was giving another 10 days of extension. And the market is not liking this, right? Bitcoin is down minus 4.3% to 65,000, getting close to the support zone here, the white line. Ethereum also all the way down to 1,980. So this is, again, under 2,000 for the first time since March 9th. So almost 20 days since we were at these levels. And so the crypto, even Ethereum was also March 9th. And XRP was at these low levels on March 9th, but before that, it was February 28th. So we haven't been in these low levels here in a very long period of time here for XRP. Now, the question is this an opportunity, right? The markets are selling off, not just the crypto market, by the way. The S&P 500 is behaving as expected. We saw that crossover on the 1348 EMA after a long time that it was going up, right? We had that crossover, and since then, the stock market has been going with the direction of this yellow flag here. If we go and we look at the VIX, it's already over 30 again. So there's lots of fear. Basically, this fear is coming off of a few things. The main thing was a ship that was trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, got destroyed or hit. And stopped, and markets did not like that. Oil is almost over 100 again. Silver, actually, silver is back up a little bit, which is interesting. Gold is back up a little bit as well, 3% there. But the crypto market and the stock market continue to sell off here. You can see the NASDAQ down here, 1.72%. So the markets are uncertainty. And if you go to the White House page, you say soon. But there's a lot of shenanigans going on the White House page. I saw all these pixelated pictures. I don't know what was going on here. I don't know what they're doing. But whoever's running the page is, I don't know. Say President Donald Trump, and it's doing like a emoji. I don't know what's going on. From what I read, Rubio said that we could see multiple weeks for the conflict. Some people are saying we could be close to the end, maybe the last week. So again, when you have a lot of conflicting things, right? When you're seeing a roller coaster, whoa, right? This is what creates uncertainty. This is what creates situations that markets do not like, and their sell-offs. And I'll show you again something with the yields, that maybe the yield is going to push President Trump to make a deal. We'll see. But as always, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or send me anything. Those are scammers. Those are imposters. I will never DM you first. I will never send you a friend request. Please be very careful out there. Okay, so this is very interesting, and this could potentially be a pivotal week in the conflict, right? As the bond market continues to get crushed, the 10-year note just hit a new high of 4.48% for the first time since the war began. The bond market is nearing or already in crisis territory. U.S. officials are now saying they expect Iran's counter to President Trump's 15-point peace plan today, just hours after President Trump's 10-day delay on strikes on Iran power plants failed to calm both bond and energy markets. If there is no progress made on peace deal talks and a resolution, ongoing energy and bond market crisis by the futures open on Sunday at 6 p.m., we will see the 10-year note above 4.5% next week. And if it drags on another month, a 5% yield for the 10 note is coming next. President Trump knows this. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent knows this. And the Fed knows this. We expect highly evented weekend ahead. So we could see, similar to last weekend, Trump in just a few hours coming out with some statement and then backtracking it on Monday. That's the taco, right? A smelly taco. If you don't know what taco is, it's not, there's good and the bad of President Trump, right? I still, of course, think that his timeline is the best timeline, better than the other timeline. But taco, if you don't know what it is, if you're living under a rock, is Trump always chickens out, right? And this is thrown out. It's a tactic I think that he uses, by the way, and people might get mad in the comment section. You're talking about politics, and you shouldn't be talking about politics, right? But the politics affects the prices of the market, so we have to talk about it. He uses it as a tactic. I don't think he's chicking out. I think it's his way of actually chicken arming, right? Or how do you call it when you put the arm behind the back, right? The people that he wants to chicken arm. And that's how he gets what he wants. He gives, as a parent, right? There's the parents that are always like, if you don't stop shepherding your brother, we're going to go home, right? And usually you don't go home, right? You're not turning around the car and going home. You're probably going to the activity that you are planned to do. And my wife, by the way, told me that if I ever use that threat, I have to follow through. I can't just do it and not follow through. So Trump uses this as a tactic to scare the children into stop doing what they're doing. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I don't think it's him chickening out. It's just the tactic that he's using. And the taco phrase was born, right? So we'll see how potentially this could play out. And again, for the crypto market, it can sell off. And, I don't really care, to tell you the truth, if XRP is at $1.32 or $1.05 or $1.07, right? It doesn't really matter in long term. Of course, if you're day trading, if you're swing trading, it matters. But long term, right? If this might be, a possibility for buying a dip soon, maybe. Like we looked at the moving averages this morning, we saw that all the technicals are a strong sell, and we know when that usually happens, you're close to or about to hit the bottom, right? That's what we've learned in the past. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen every single time, but that's what history has told us. Maybe this time it's different. Again, I don't know. But this could be an opportunity, right? So we'll see how things play out in the next 48 hours, 72 hours, and see where the market goes from here. It will be very interesting to see how things plays out, because things right now, alts are selling off. And again, if you want to short the market and you think the market's going to continue to sell off, then you can do so. Again, if you're interested, our partner BTCC will give the opportunity to do so. If you sign up using my link, you get a 30% deposit bonus, 30%. If you put $10,000, that's $3,000 bonus for your trading. And that $3,000 could turn into a lot of money. You trade right. Please trade responsibly. I will get a commission if you use my link. I'll put the link in the description down below so you can sign up and start trading. Maybe take advantage of the dip, or if you think the market's going to continue to drop, you can take advantage of the short. Again, it's all up to you. And please trade responsibly. I will get a commission, so thank you for that. If we continue here, we're going into the Clarity Act, right? And getting closer to a done deal, both sides are finally starting to agree. Let's hear what Tim Scott had to say.
We have one more step to go. We need the industry to agree on it. So I spoke last night with Coinbase as well. Everyone is still at the table. There is work to be done, but I am really excited about the fact that we finally have Republicans and Democrats agreeing on something really important on the yield conversation. We now have to get industry to buy into this language. This is a threading the needle process. It's always difficult the first time you do it, but it gets better and better and better. And so I'm still very optimistic about where we are.
But it comes down to the issue of the rewards on the cryptocurrency platforms side. The banks oppose this because these cryptocurrency firms are not regulated the same as banks are. Of course, crypto platforms like a Coinbase, et cetera, don't want to be regulated like banks do. So does that mean that the banks, in a sense, are starting to win the argument about the rewards?
Well, Cheryl, the banks are at the table as well, but let's remember, we're talking about an apple and an orange. We're not talking about Apple versus Apple. A stable coin is a $1 to a $1 backing, whereas your savings account is a fractional system. So we're talking about two very different systems altogether. But yes, we want to make sure that the advertising or the marketing of a stable coin account is very different than an FDIC insured bank account. That's important. But at the end of the day, all the players are still at the table. We should expect this to be a very interesting and frankly exciting, not as exciting as March Madness, but it's pretty darn exciting to watch us get closer and closer to the end of this deal. I'm excited about where we are.
All right. And I'm excited about March Madness. I agree with you on that.
Okay, before we touch on what he said, March Madness, right? Americans, who do you got? I don't know. I'm going to throw out Arizona. I don't know. I saw one game and I liked how they play. Although maybe Duke, but Arizona. Let me know in the comment section. Who do you think is going to win? I'm going to start some controversy here. Actually, no, wait a second. I take that back. I have to go with Purdue because they have an Israeli player. So I got to go with Purdue. I'm taking that back. He's a freshman though, but he's not playing a lot. But still, Omer Meyer. So Clarity Act, they're telling us here that we're potentially very close here. They talked to Coinbase. And I don't understand why Coinbase is the deal breaker here. I get that they're lobbying, but still, ever since Coinbase is pulled out of the Clarity Act, crypto has been in a free fall. And, I guess you'd need support of the crypto industry in order to pass this, but it's senators that are voting, right? So I mean, you don't really need the crypto industry to say yes. So that's kind of funny, but let's hope, knock on wood, that in the next coming weeks we get the Clarity Act finally passed. And interestingly, the Federal Reserve came out today and confirms that it has no plans to issue a central bank digital currency, instead backing stablecoins and tokenized bank deposits as digital dollar alternatives. So now, after the president signed, and it was also in the wordings of the Genius Act, the Fed is also confirming that it has no plans to issue a central bank digital currency, whereas in Europe, for example, they are still thinking about doing it, and other countries around the world are thinking about doing it. Here, they talked about it. If you've been watching the channel for a while, remember I was at a tour of the Fed here back in the summer, and I asked the guy at the tour, because he's one of the people that worked at the Fed, and he told me that they said that it's not as close as they're being portrayed in the media, and since then there's been other stuff that have been in the headlines, the missiles that are falling on us. So that got pushed to the side, I think, a little bit. But maybe we'll come back in the future. Let me know, what do you think about CBDCs? I'm against, of course. They have their pluses, by the way, but I think the negatives weigh more out the pluses. So let me know in the comment section your NCAA men's basketball winner. Right, I'm big into basketball, if you don't know. NBA, NCAA, EuroLeague. Let me know, what do you think is CBDC? Yes, no, maybe. And what do you think about the tacoing, right? Do you like to eat the tacos? I don't know why I got the Italian accent. No hablo español, por favor. So I don't know. I messed up all my accents there. Maybe the Irish one is going to come out soon. I don't know what kind of accent that was. Russian, maybe. That was very bad. I'm sorry about that. Check out BTCC if you're interested in trading the market. Link is in the description down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.